everyone and welcome to another episode of the Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to be giving you my review of Game of Thrones Season 7 Episode 2, which is entitled Stormborn. Now as always, if you want to keep up to date with all my latest videos and all my Game of Thrones reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always with my videos, this review may include spoilers, so you have now been warned. What a great episode this was. Really enjoyed this episode. We got great character development. There was a great story throughout. Everybody has progressed. The story for everyone has moved forward. I thought it was brilliant. Let's start on Dragonstone, where we started with Daenerys and Varys. I loved that scene. There was that real sort of... It was like a throwback to the very early seasons where nobody really still trusts each other, and it was just great. And I really love the way that Varys stood up for himself, because he is like a really Weasley character and you're not supposed to like him, but that scene was really great where you do believe what he's saying, and it was the first time we did see any real honesty from Varys. I thought that was great. The rest of the Daenerys stuff was okay. Obviously, the plans that were set in motion have now obviously changed. I will get to that. But I thought it was fine. The rest of Daenerys stuff, I thought the stuff with Illyria Martell was quite nice. That she still, even as an old woman, has a purpose. And I did like when she's like, I know loads of wise men and I've outlived them all because I've ignored them all. I thought that was great. And it does throw that caution to the wind of who can Daenerys actually trust, and I really enjoyed that. We then moved on back to Winterfell with Jon and Sansa after they received a letter from Tyrion. Again, really nice bits of storytelling there, building that friction once again between Jon and Sansa. Turns out Jon is going to go anyway. He's like, nah fam, I'm off, I'm going to Dragonstone. I need to see what the crack is with all this dragonglass. So again, there was all that friction. There was great friction between Jon and all of the lords, which we kind of saw last week. And I'm really loving this. I'm really loving this position that Jon is in now, where he is kind of a reluctant leader, but he's still sticking to his morals and he's not changing for anybody. And he's willing to stand up for what he actually believes in. And yeah, really loved all that. Really loved all that stuff in Winterfell, as I said. The fact that it is looking like we are going to get Daenerys and Jon meeting some point in the next few episodes is making me very excited indeed. We then moved on to Arya, who thank God had left Ed Sheeran behind. Would have liked to have seen him getting stabbed, but we'll move past that. She's now found out that Jon is alive. She doesn't know that Sansa's alive, I don't think, yet still, but she knows Jon is alive. She knows that Winterfell is back in the command of at least a Stark within a sense. So she is now heading to Winterfell. And yeah, that was really sweet with old Fat Pie. I can't remember his Hot Pie. Yeah, that's not Fat Pie. With Hot Pie, I thought that was really sweet because for the first time since probably season 2, maybe season 3, we actually saw some genuine emotion, and it was quite nice that Arya let down that, not let down a guard, but let down that shield for a sec, because you can see how excited she is to go back home to Winterfell. And just to skim over the second little bit with Arya, where she got attacked by the wolves and she thought it was Nymeria, I didn't really get that bit because the wolf kind of left her alone. Maybe it knew that she was sound and she wasn't actually going to hurt him. But the fact that it wasn't actually Nymeria, maybe I'm missing something there from the overall greater picture. But yeah, that scene could have maybe been left out for me. It didn't really work. We then moved on to Big Sam the Man, and I've got a confession to make. Latter part of last season, I wasn't really bothered by Sam's story. Yeah, he was going to the Citadel. So what? We know he's going to go and learn to be a Grand Maester for the Wall. Wasn't really into it, but the first 2 episodes he's featured in, I've really enjoyed his involvement in the story, because he's technically not directly involved anymore, but he's still getting himself involved in there. Obviously, he's informed Jon about the Dragonglass on Dragonstone, and then I think the decision to blend Sam and Jorah Mormont together is brilliant, and I loved those scenes together. And it's really nice having Sam in this story still, because he is just genuinely, I think, the only nice character left, the only pure, kind-hearted person left in the whole of Westeros. And those scenes where he was trying to help Jorah Mormont get rid of the grayscale were just gruesome and brilliant and so well acted and put together, and I love their dynamic that they've got, and I really hope Jorah survives, because I really want to see the tales of Jorah and Sam moving on forward. I don't think there was much else other than the final scene, which went from 0 to 100 really quick. Thought we were getting a bit of Dawn Greyjoy action, bit of lesbian thing going on, and then no, bam, straight away, Euron Greyjoy is there. He has set his stall out. He's after Theon and I can't remember her name, his sister. He's after them. Very well choreographed fight scene. He killed 2 of the Sand Vipers. I'm not sure which 2 because it all happened in a quick melee. Oberyn's wife is still alive. He has taken her and the other Sand Viper captive, as well as, I can't remember her name, it's Radiohead and Theon's sister. Euron now has those held captive. Theon jumped off into the sea like a little bitch. Really annoyed me that, because for so long we've been trying to rebuild Theon as a character, and he had the chance to grow some balls, if you'll pardon the really terrible pun, because he hasn't got any anymore. But it was a really great chance for him to step up, and he never. And it was just so disappointing that they dragged him back down into almost that Reek character once again. But really excited going forward. A lot of people have been criticising Game of Thrones in the past couple of seasons, saying that it's kind of got predictable, and the end of this episode showed that it's still at the top of its game. Anything can happen. Don't know why I'm doing this so much, because it was so cool. The ending, the last 5 minutes of this episode, it's almost a game changer now, because Euron has control of 2 out of the 3 families that are banding together and have sided with Daenerys. So it's really great to see where that story is going to head. And yeah, very excited to see what happens in the very next episode of the Game of Thrones. If you did enjoy this video, then why not give it a like and subscribe, because you'll be helping me out massively. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode of Game of Thrones down in those comments below, and I will see you in the very next episode of the Jamie Hughes Show. Ta-ra!